Welcome to Ravensdale Bible Academy. Today's course is Introduction to Marriage, and today's lesson is Biblical Covenant. Now, Biblical Covenant may be a term that you're not really familiar with, and so that's why we want to introduce it to you, because it's an absolute essential pillar to your marriage. It's a biblical concept, so we understand this from the Bible. You're not going to see this in TV. You're not going to sing it in a song. You're not going to hear it at public school. You need to read the Bible. You need to understand what a biblical covenant is, because it's what is going to be the bedrock and the foundation and the strength of your marriage. And so realize that basically a biblical covenant is a covenant between a husband, a wife, and God. And so this is an agreed upon covenant between the three parties, that there's going to be a marriage that lasts forever. It's permanent. It's binding. So by definition, a marriage is a binding relationship forever. And so we need to understand that. We need to explore that. In Genesis 2:24, we see that for this reason, for what reason? For the reason of getting married. For this reason, a man leaves his father and mother. For this reason, getting married, a man leaves home to go, then the two become one flesh. Two people in two different homes now become one flesh and start their home. They start their family. That's Genesis 2:24. That's what a marriage is. But it goes beyond just leaving home and moving in together. No, it's a biblical covenant. Well, what is that? So what does a covenant mean? How long is a covenant? And again, who's the covenant with? Well, the first thing is the covenant means that we're making an agreement. It's a contract, okay? And so you're making a contract, you're making an agreement. But unlike short-term contracts or short-term agreements or agreements that can be canceled, or if you're familiar with sports, you can break the contract or renew a contract. No, a biblical contract is a one-time contract with one person. It's permanent. So it's not to be canceled until death do us part. And so how long is this contract supposed to be? Well, it's supposed to be forever. That is the nature of the covenant. That's the depth of the covenant. That's the seriousness, the binding of the covenant. Just imagine if you were to knit two things together, they would no longer be two, they would be one. That is what God has designed for you in marriage. So when you're looking to get married, when you're looking at somebody, you want somebody that has the same belief system that you have. Like, for one, that marriage is forever. Just imagine if you have one party that says, hey, marriage is forever in sickness or in health, when we argue, if we're wealthy, if we're poor, it doesn't matter. We're going to be married forever. And the other person in the party's like, whatever, we'll see. I might change my mind. Who knows? Somebody younger might walk by. Who knows? Somebody with more money. Who knows? I might get bored. Who knows? I might just, fall out of love. Do you see how that would be a problem? Do you see how if you have two people and they're essentially serving a different agreement, they're serving a different contract, that contract's not going to work out. It's just not. And so a biblical marriage, a godly marriage, is one that comes into that marriage by definition, two becoming one, not still two people being two independent people. No, it's two people selflessly, unselfishly coming together to become one flesh. It's forever until death do us part. And the binding contract of this is the Lord God Almighty himself. And so when you get married, even more than loving the person across from you is you love God. See, your relationship is with God. And so you and I may be in a quarrel or in an argument. We may be frustrated. But see, we made a covenant with God that's going to last forever. And we don't break covenants with God. There are serious consequences to breaking covenants with God that we should have caution over. We made this covenant, not just with two people in a contract, not just with two families, but we've made a promise to God, the Lord God Almighty himself. And so that's why this is an essential lesson for us to learn and understand in marriage, because by definition, that is what you're doing. When you say, I want to marry this person, really what you should be saying is, I want to enter into covenant with this person. I want to enter into a covenant with God with this person that's going to last forever. And so that's what a biblical covenant is in marriage. See you next time.